Welcome to Building Blissfully, the podcast about building businesses, relationships, and lives with intention. We're your hosts, Adam and Amanda Craner.
On this podcast, we talk about building companies, navigating partnerships, raising families, and making decisions that compound personally, professionally, and financially.
Because real success isn't just about what you build, it is how you build it.
This episode is proudly sponsored by Carbless ready-to-drink cocktails. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and full flavor. Go to drinkcarbless.com to find a retailer near you. So one of the things we talk about often on this podcast is that when couples build something together, they're not just building companies. They're shaping the people watching from the sidelines. So today we get to hear from someone who grew up right in the middle of it all. So here we have Gretchen, daughter of Kristen, who we just got to speak with. But your mom and Neal named one of the businesses after you. Can you tell us more about that?
They did. So the ice cream company came after the bakery and the plastics company. And what happened was our bake location actually had a fire, so we were down for about 8 months roughly. And with that, we were like, okay, we have the plastics company, but we always had the idea of bringing ice cream because we have our fast food chains and all the big chains, but we don't have like a small, community soft serve, like a bunch of different shakes, things like that. So one day we were just kind of thinking about it, and my grandpa was there, and he's like, look at this commercial, and it was called Scoop There It Is. I don't remember whose commercial it was. So the idea of G Scoop came around, and then my parents started looking into it, and I was like, well, we could turn it into a food truck. There's so many opportunities for growth. So we just decided to, we bought a new building, so we took that over. We added the company into that, and we're like, this is going to be fun. We have so many different ways we can go with it, so we just added it, and people loved it.
So I haven't been to any of the Plymouth parades maybe in the last year and a half. But when you guys are walking, are you like, scoop, there it is?
We did actually have that. We did a...
She said yes.
Oh, maybe not like that.
We had what I did was I took the commercial and I combined it, it's probably a 30-second commercial, and I made it for 20 minutes long and put it on the speaker for the Cheese Festival parade.
Yes.
And that's what our music was. So the whole time it was just straight that.
Oh,
I don't think I've heard the commercial since, but it was just that for 20 minutes. So we actually did have that playing for some time.
By the way, for anybody listening, if you're ever in Plymouth, Wisconsin, the best ice cream, that is my weak spot. Ice cream's a thing I love to go get. My personal favorite birthday cake. But, oh, man, that ice cream, homemade, melts in your mouth. It's awesome. So, pretty sure you worked in all 3 businesses throughout high school, right?
I did, yes.
What was your very first job in which company, and what did it teach you?
So my very first job, I was 14, and I was working for the bakery. I was not allowed to really frost anything because that was a little iffy, but I would do the customer service and just basically serve the customers.
Okay.
I would say the first thing I got taught was not to have an RBF because I kind of blank stare. My mom's like, you can't just you got to be a little bit happier. So I've learned to smile a lot more and just open up with people. I would say is my biggest thing I learned.
I learned about myself. I was doing a Dale Carnegie leadership training, and they said, Adam, why are you upset? I said, I'm not. And they said, well, however your face naturally rests, you look like you're scouring. And it's sometimes it's just a reminder of I think I'm half smiling, but I just don't look grouchy.
Right.
But kudos to Mom for calling that out because, it's not
hard,
something you
yeah.
know. You're not doing it intentionally.
It's not. I'm not mad. I'm just waiting for you to think, I guess. But that was definitely one of the things. And I was so young, so a lot of people were like, oh, she's forced to go here, it's child labor. I got that. I still sometimes actually get that. It's child labor. I'm like, no, I want to be here.
I'm an adult.
This is my thing.
Yeah.
I'm an adult now. That's not what it's called, but it took some time to make sure there's a smile for every customer at least.
What have you seen for a different? Did you work at Shell too?
Yes.
So for you, I would say the businesses particularly, like take Mom and Neal out of it. What are the differences that you see from the businesses working on the floor or in the business?
I mean, it's a lot. They're two opposites. So for me, working at Shell, it's more focused. Personally, I'm like, okay, like this stuff's big and I don't know much about it. Where the bakery, I'm like, oh yeah, like if someone has a question, I know what to do. So for Shell, I definitely have to focus more because I don't know everything that's going on. Or some of the things where people are like, oh, you got to heat bend this. I'll be like, well, what is that? Like I have to press a button and watch the machine go down, and I kind of get a little confused. So Shell, I need more help. Where bakery, it's just like, oh yeah, it's fine.
A
Like
little more natural.
I can figure it out on my own.
So you did mention earlier that when you first started, you weren't allowed to frost. And we did just hear from Neal that I don't think he's graduated from frosting camp yet. Have you graduated from frosting camp?
Yes, I have graduated. I frost everything and anything now, so I can do cakes, unlike Neal.
So is it a ton of like practice? Is there like a school you went to? Did you learn from Mom?
So what we did was we would have cookie decorating classes, and we actually had a cake decorating class in December. My mom's like, "You're going to that because we need you for like in-store cakes or in case there's a last-minute birthday, just to quickly get one out." So she made me do that, and I was like, okay, this was a lot easier than I thought. So I basically just went to all of the classes that they were holding and worked from there.
Lots of practice.
Lots of practice, yes.
Did you get to eat the screw ups?
Some of them I do, some of them I don't. I do have a stomach that doesn't like a lot of things. So.
Gotcha. So it goes to Neal.
Yep. I kind of bring everything home for Neal.
This one is now. Earlier, I had asked, just talk about the business, take your Mom and Neal out of it. Part of the reason why we're doing this, I really like this next question, but what do you think is something that people your age just do not understand at all about business? And it's not because they don't want to, it's likely they're not in it, so they're not taught. But tell me about some of the things you've realized that you get to know and understand because you've been involved, and people your age just absolutely don't.
I would say how time consuming it is. People like my friends will be like, okay, like let's like Gretchen gets off at 5, let's go hang out. I'm like, business closes at 5, but there's things I have to do after the business closes. So my friends are kind of don't know that yet, and I do get a lot of, wow, you're really mature for your age. And I'm like, yeah, kind of have to be.
Right.
So a lot of people don't get that just because you're open and if you close at a certain time that you're done. Like you take stuff home. I mean, you get up way earlier to prep for the day. So I think that's one thing that I'm happy I know, because with other friends that own businesses, I'm like, okay, so you get off at 5, you'll be home by 7.
Right.
So just the time factor in that, people don't always see that.
Are you involved to the point of like the profit and loss and the balance sheet? Are you doing like any of the ordering?
Yes. So when Neal had his surgery, I was actually doing the donut runs for him. So I've learned that. I'm learning how to order.
Did your alarm clock have that time on it originally?
Probably once for a flight, but that's about it.
That's a time most humans choose not to ever see.
But I do, I'm getting into like cookie ordering and cake ordering, where donut ordering, my mom comes in every day and it's like, okay, this is how we do it. Like, here's the laptop. I'll show you what we do, like what products we need for the next day, and look at the board. Is there anything new? So I'm definitely learning the more of the ordering side now than I have ever, which it's actually a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. But the financial parts, they bring it up and they talk about it, but they're like, we don't need you worrying about this yet.
Okay.
So I'm kind of not into that as much
Gotcha.
as I need to be.
Yeah, understand how to do what we do and then
Right.
do the detail after.
Right.
Gotcha.
I didn't prep you for the next question, but I want to ask it. Is there a point that you've wanted to explore other things, or do you also feel obligated to carry this legacy?
Actually, we were just talking about this the other day. So I want to pursue the stuff I want to do and the business. One thing that is like really cool to me right now is flying a plane. That I want to be a pilot. I think that's like the coolest thing ever. But I'm also like, I need to work because I need to go to school and I don't want to be in debt. That scares me. So I'm like, I need to be able to afford school for being a pilot and then maybe take over the business and do both somehow. So I'm trying to figure that out in a way and got to look at colleges, maybe do online classes and stuff like that.
What is it about flying that excites you?
Just everything. I just think it's so cool. I wanted to be a flight attendant for a while, and then I was like, okay, that's kind of boring. I want to fly the plane. So
I love it. Yeah, why
So,
stop
yeah.
there?
I feel like it'd be so cool. Just like being able to be in the air, and I love flying. Like, there's just something about it that excites me. I mean, tomorrow I'm on a plane. I'm like, ooh, like let's find the air masks. Like where is everything? Like, it's
Have
exciting.
you had the opportunity to fly on any like smaller, like local planes versus just commercial? Like, there's all kinds of hobby planes
Yeah,
and
sure.
people that do that around here.
I have not. I've just been flying on like the
Okay.
commercial ones. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch to see what you do with that. Do you kind of answered this? Do you feel like entrepreneurship is in your future, or do you think you'll carve out your own complete path? So you mentioned you want to try to mix the two together. So even say if you do become a pilot, do you think you would still try to take more of an entrepreneurial approach to that, or do you want to work for like a commercial airline?
I would definitely start at a commercial and maybe kind of see where that takes me first before thinking about the entrepreneur part of it. But I would probably stay right now in the entrepreneur of the family businesses.
So right now they've taken the risk, right? If there was a point where there was an entrepreneurial journey, do you feel like that's in your blood now? Or because they've kind of handed this and they've done a lot of the upfront stuff, that's what makes you comfortable?
I think a little bit of both. I
Okay.
think risks are kind of fun, and I mean, if you fall on your face, you got to find a way to get back up. So I think that's the interesting part of taking the risk, is you never know what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah, you just got to learn on what made you trip the first time and
Right.
try to avoid that
Exactly.
next
Yeah.
time. You started. Do you have any other like side businesses that you've?
I posted something about organization, just because a lot of when I would go to my friend's house, I would be like, "Your pantry's a disaster," and I would just go and clean it right away. I've done that with a lot of people, or like
Haley didn't ever have those friends.
No. She also has never had that thought.
like I told Riley actually one time, I was like, "You want to do a closet makeover?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "We can sort your clothes." She's like, "I'd rather play hide and seek." I'm like, "Okay." It's like, okay.
If she gets in the right mood, she's all
It's true.
about
Yeah.
organizing.
Yeah.
It's just getting her to focus.
Yeah.
Carly, not so much.
No.
So I want to go back to the kids and the realization about, what's a little bit different about being in a business. What have you learned from watching Neal and Kristen, Neal and your mom, sorry, about handling challenges and stressful moments in business?
I learned from them that you definitely have to take a step back, analyze what like an issue is or the challenge is before just attacking it. I'm very good at emotionally reacting, so when you get a bad review, I'm like, I didn't say that, I didn't do that. They're like, no, you got to step back. You got to be like, what did we do? How can we help? Like, what can we fix it so that your experience is better? Things like that. I definitely have learned how to emotionally react and take challenges in without going into panic mode and stressing out about it and losing sleep over it.
I mean, outside of, I don't like to use age because I was often told that I couldn't do things because of my age at a certain point. But at the same time, like you talked about emotionally reacting, like at this point, it is in your DNA. Like some of the logical formations of understanding how to like that doesn't happen until your mid-20s,
Right.
right? So it's cool to hear you already learning and understanding that, because then by the time you get to 25, 30, you're going to have that so much more honed in than any other person your age, and you'll probably continue to be more mature.
Yeah.
Just the demeanor and the responsibility that you carry. Can you tell that you are a little bit different than maybe a lot of the different kids that you grew up with because of what you've had the opportunity to experience?
For sure. I mean, through high school, my junior and senior year, I was maybe at school half the time. My senior year, definitely.
Me
Maybe
too.
a fourth of the
Me too.
time.
But for the same reasons
yeah,
as
so.
you.
Oh.
Not you.
So, yeah, I was in the youth apprentice program, so I was hardly at school, and I was like, I'm going to get out of there as fast as I can. I graduated early just so I could take over this, because my friends are like, oh, what does a bakery do? I'm like, well, here's what it does. And they're like, well, how's that going to satisfy you in life? And I was like, there's so many opportunities. I can expand it. I can take it anywhere in the world. I could pop something up. And they're like, they just nobody gets it. I'm like, well, that's why I hang out with 45-year-olds now.
Oh, it's so our Haley, so she's would be a year older than you, I think. She had she went to school about 20 minutes away from you, and she was struggling a bit. She's the only kid out of her 120 graduating class that went outside of the state, I think, to go to college. And so I tried pushing her into the entrepreneur side. She decides to go to college, and in this area, the trades are really great. You can get a trades job probably making $40 an hour within a few years. And so some kid walked up to her, and she was struggling with this because it was a guy that she was friends with for a lot of years. And he's like, what makes you think you're so special that you can go out of state? And like, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. There's all these good jobs here. And she was talking to me about it. And I said, part of the like seeking to understand, and like, he's chastising because he doesn't understand you. And I said, let me flip the script and say, if he walked up to you and said, I don't have the balls to go anywhere but home, and I want to get paid a lot of money, I don't understand why you would risk leaving this super safe area to go do something else. Like, would that have made you feel more comfortable? And she's like, yeah, like that's pretty much what he's saying. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't know how to, like, he's not going to verbalize it that way. So he puts it as chastising you. Right. But it's interesting how you already have the vision of, you're looking at one bakery. Mm-hmm. Starbucks started as one coffee shop, mm-hmm. right? It could be 5,000 bakeries if you want it to be. Mm-hmm. That's cool that you have that kind of visionary mindset already, to understand how you can scale that. Because I think sometimes it's the detriment of smaller business. Yep. Is, well, I'm a bakery, and I can only serve this 1 square mile. Right. Yeah, sure. If that's what you choose to do, mm-hmm. it can be a lot bigger.
Yeah, you can take it anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and to your point, you want to live in Italy or France, like you could start a bakery there. Right. What are your passions? So you talked about organization. How well organized is that bakery?
When I'm not there, no. I'm worried about this weekend. I'm like, I'm going to come back, and it's just, yeah. I mean, there's the things where you're doing dishes. You got to, like, just throw them on the thing to go help someone. You kind of forget that you put it in the wrong spot, and 2 days later, you're like, where is this? And you're like, oh, yeah, I threw it over there. But I would say about every week or two, I make sure everything's in its right spot. So I organize all of the pans, all the boxes, all of the ingredients and things like that, just to make sure they're all in their home and everything's good to go.
I'm going to go continuous improvement nerd on you. You ever heard the term 5S?
I have not, no.
All right. After this, you can Google it, but there's like a whole system behind it that can hopefully help you get other people behind it as well.
Will do.
It's fun. I like it, but probably bores my wife.
I'm sure you could also just chat with Neal at dinner
about it.
Probably. He can teach you.
Fair. Yes.
You have the last question.
Yeah. Actually, I want to ask a different question
Okay.
before I go that one.
Go ahead.
So we talked to Neal and Kristen about their relationship and how it's evolved. But I'm curious from your perspective, being that you've gone from, said you're going to turn 19 soon, so you were 13, 14 when they started the businesses till now. How would you describe the evolution of their relationship?
At the beginning, it was a little like, oh my gosh, are they gonna make it? Like, Neal's never home, and then if Neal's home, Mom's somewhere else. Like, what's gonna go on? Like, they sat me down at the dinner table one time, and they were like, so we're gonna obviously start a bakery, and we're gonna take over a company. I'm like, okay, like, what am I supposed to do? And Neal's like, oh man, she doesn't get it. I'm like, well, okay, like this is a little nerve wracking. So they have their moments where they don't know what the next day is gonna bring, but they definitely have figured out how to work with each other, and they knows the ins and outs of each other way better than anyone else. Well, they work really good together though. Like, Neal comes, he delivers the donuts. He's out by a certain time. She'll come in, she'll do her stuff. I'll be in there, and they just complement each other so well. It's really easy to work with them too. Which sometimes you want to be like, oh, we do have those moments where you have a mom or Neal moment, but it's pretty good.
So you said they work well together. I did not ask them this, but would the things that they used to clash on that they now mesh on, I'm going to rephrase that. Are there things that they used to clash on and now they actually mesh really, really well on, and it makes it easier for everybody else?
Oh, definitely. I mean, everyone's got their ins and outs. So, but mom used to stress about things, and Neal's like, it's fine. So now there's a lot of things where mom would be like freaking out about in the past, where she's like, oh yeah, it's fine. Why in the world did I ever worry about that 2 years ago? So it definitely grew.
No more mountains out of molehills.
Correct.
All right. So when you look at everything that your parents have built, not just the businesses, the life around it, what are you most proud of?
Honestly, I'm most proud of how far they came. Like, with the bakery, we started in one location, moved to a different one, and now we're in a different one now. So that was really like eye-opening to see that we started really small and grew. And we first started out with, we're just frosting everything, that's it. And now we grew to, we can print stuff. Like the cookies today, we printed those. And Mom 3 years ago was like, we're never doing that. We're never getting a printer. But we figured that out. So I'm really proud of how far we've came and how we fixed just how, I don't know how to phrase this. with all the challenges we've had, I'm proud that we got through them. I mean, when the bakery was in flames, we could have just quit there.
Right.
And she's like, nope, let's buy a new business, start a new business, and see how it goes from there. And the community also showed up so much after the fire. It was insane how many people were so excited to be back. And we were also excited to be back.
Yeah, I can imagine. So it seems like the pride isn't really necessarily cemented in the like we did it. It's the we did it. We could have been okay with that, but we continue to grow forward through it. From your perspective, and kind of like the three of you doing some of this together, what is it about the growth that you enjoy?
I enjoy all the rewards that come with it as well. I mean, it's fun also to learn new things. I would like to say I do like to learn a lot of new interesting things at my young age because I haven't gone to college yet. So they'll say some crazy word or something will happen. I'll be like, what does that mean? So shout out ChatGPT. He'll tell me everything. He explains those big words and phrases they use.
Got it.
Let's see, it's a he. I think it's like a little person in the computer that is my friend, and then
Jumps on the letters to type you back.
She went from because she had the free version, and then she signed in, and like one night she's like, oh, like I don't know why this guy's responding differently, and I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like this little man in the computer, and like basically all the history it had wiped out because she now had to sign in, and I realized that she was just like envisioning.
I had to teach him who I was again.
Yeah.
You know, kind of reflecting on some of the questions we've talked about. If you fast forward to you being 50 years old, you're going to be a completely different human being because of the things you've experienced, the things you learned with Neal and Kristen. And so I'm asking you to really reflect and have this foresight. What is the value to your life that being part of that has really created?
It's definitely taught me more than anything that experience will always be better than just going to school and them telling you, oh, you have to do this. Being in person and doing it without having a certain teacher, having multiple mentors around, being like, this is how you do it, but them actually just putting you out there and just saying you need to do this. But for me, there was not really a training because I was there since day one, so we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. So definitely just the experience and going in right away to you never know what's going to happen type of deal is definitely something I value. And just being able to have human interaction instead of hiding behind a screen or being able to have tough conversations with people also is really valued by me.
Very cool. Thank you. And I think even your explanation on the commercial thing. So Amanda asked, would you jump into an entrepreneurial thing? And part of it, like what you're telling me now, I'm going to rephrase, and it's just fucking do it. Go take action, learn, fail miserably, get back up, get punched in the face, and just keep learning and slowly perfect it. But at the same time, when we talked about the piloting, you said, well, I might go commercial first. Mm-hmm. And like the way I took that now hearing this is, I want to kind of learn a little bit of the inner workings and how that might work, so I can, maybe limit some of the bruises, and then I'm okay to jump in.
Right. That I don't have a background in anything with planes, so I need to see the ins and outs of it first before I can take off by myself.
Aviation is no joke.
Yeah.
Nor is the FAA.
Can't fall on your face.
Yeah, kind of.
No. Well, thank you, Gretchen, for joining us. It's been a pleasure hearing about a little bit more about your story as well as how it correlates with Neal and Kristen. Very excited to see what you continue to do with, one, the current business, the amazing bakery and ice cream, as well as your organization business. And I'm going to have to keep updates on the piloting thing for sure.
Yes, thank you guys for having me.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Building Blissfully. The bliss is earned in the grit, even when you're knee-deep in the shit. If this hits home for you, please like and subscribe to follow more building on Building Blissfully.